We are at that point in the morning when we have this very exciting feature we call Real Estate Today. And I did give you an indication of the topic that's going to be discussed today: dispute resolution, landlords versus tenants. This segment of Up and Go is brought to you courtesy of Howard Johnson Realty Limited of unit number 15 in the Ligony Post Mall, 115 Hope Road in Capital City, Kingston. Joining us in the studio, we have Mr. Howard Johnson Jr. Morning, Howie.
Good morning to you, Richie B. Good morning, everyone. Nice to be here again.
Welcome, sir.
Yes, sir.
Any challenges navigating through our security quadrants?
Boy, the Bridge FM have it locked, boy. Locked at the gate.
We don't play.
I tell you, so I forget my VIP pass.
You will in time, because you are, in fact, and Siki needs to know that, you are a bridge builder.
I am.
So you deserve the VIP treatment on your entry, all right?
Yeah, man. I'll try to cross it next time.
Yes, please do. And I hope the security guard doesn't get too cross, hungry, miserable, or anything like that. It's a very important topic that we're looking at in all seriousness today on Real Estate Today, Howard. Yes. Dispute resolution, landlords versus tenants. And this is a very, very important topic in the real estate industry. You are here, and we're also joined, I think we have a guest with us, Mr. Is it Leyton Baker?
That is correct.
And he's the acting director at the Rent Services Unit under the Ministry of Housing, Urban Renewal, Environment, and Climate Change. Good morning, Mr. Baker.
Good morning, Mr. Burgess. Good morning, listeners.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you. Good to have you as well, Leyton. And I hope that your morning is going well.
So far, I give thanks.
Okay. Now, we were just making the point in studio here that it's a very important topic, and I'm glad that you could make it, because there are a few questions that we'd like to broach with you. And for those of our listeners who are unaware, first of all, Leyton, can you tell us what is the purpose of the Rent Assessment Board?
Well, our main purpose, basically we cater to the needs of landlord and tenants. The board is a quasi-judicial body, meaning we have similar powers as the parish courts. There's a number of things that we do. We deal with constant disputes that arose between landlord and tenants. And we also have hearings. As I stated before, we have similar powers to that of the court. So we have hearings twice per month to deal with arrears of rent, suing for arrears of rent, security deposit, and illegal increases in rent.
Okay. I guess among even other issues, but I'd want to zero in, if you will, on the more common disputes that are brought to to the board, and how would you say that the board handles these kinds of disputes?
Well, some of the most common, we have the whole matter of arrears of rent, harassment of tenants, landlord not serving proper notice, and the return of the security deposit. Those are a few of the
main ones
that we did, right? So at first we try to resolve the issues. Failing that, then we recommend elsewhere.
Okay. What would you say to listeners out there in terms of advising them as to how they can best avoid some of these issues?
Avoid. Well, persons need to know their rights. You have the Rent Restriction Act. We have brochures at the office too that gives an update on what steps to take when issues arise. So first of all, persons need to know their rights, and then so that they know the necessary steps to take when these issues arise.
That is very, very important. Know your rights. And you say that there are pamphlets and brochures available at the Rent Assessment Board that will help persons to understand their rights, both the tenants as well as their landlords, eh?
Yes, it's also on our website.
Okay. By the way, while you're at it, just give us the website address.
Rent Assessment Board, JM
All right. Thank you. Let me bring Howard Johnson Jr. into the picture now. Howard, you are in fact a realtor. What role, if any, does a realtor play in tenancy disputes?
We really don't have a major role in dispute resolutions between landlord and tenant because that's a contractual arrangement between the two individuals. But because oftentimes we either represented the landlord in trying to find a tenant or we sought a tenant that we recommended to a landlord, if there's a dispute, we are called upon at some point in time to just, give an opinion, an unbiased opinion, or to intervene because many issues arise and, they say, well, as you find a tenant, you have to go help me sort this out, coming, I have no time for them. And then we call the tenant and we try to broker because sometimes it's also possibly a personality issue or some misunderstanding. So as a realtor who would have provided the tenant, we can probably put forward some information because we do our checks before just to ensure that this is a qualified and capable person to be your tenant. And on the landlord side, if there's a tenant that is having a problem, what kind of hellhole you put me in a man? I never know say landlord will come on my house every morning. We will sort of sometimes remind the landlords of their roles and responsibilities so that, they're not intrusive.
Yeah.
So we play a balanced role if called upon, but by right, we're just doing it as a customer service favor and not necessarily a role that a realtor has to play.
I just want to put it out there that the last tenant you got me, I have no issues whatsoever.
Oh, excellent.
Just want to
big up yourself. Yes, man.
Now, back with you, Leyton. What would you say is the legal procedure that ought to be followed for filing a complaint to the Rent Assessment Board?
Well, the office is located at 25 Dominica Drive. For those who can visit, we encourage them to visit. They would make the complaint. We'll take a complaint from them in writing, and then they are put on to an inspector who would then take the necessary steps to resolve the issue. Feeling that then we would recommend that the persons take it to the parish court or at the rent board for our hearing to try to address the matter.
Okay. So
I should point out that the decision of the board is the decision of it's the decision of the court really.
Binding.
It's binding, as Howard said, eh?
Binding, right.
All right. We thank you for that. From a property management standpoint, though, Howard, how have you ever had to mediate between a landlord and a tenant on any issue whatsoever? And how did you help to sort of resolve that problem that might have existed?
Yes, we have had to intervene as property managers. And as I mentioned, HJ Property Management Limited is a part of the Howard Johnson Realty Group. So when I answered the first question, I was a realtor. Now I'm going to answer as a property manager.
Okay.
And yes, from time to time, we have absentee owners. And I know some of your listeners may be overseas and they have tenants here that they hardly can get in touch. And with flight restrictions and COVID, they may not be able to get in touch. And that's where we come in as property managers because we broker that relationships. And many times the tenants don't even know their landlords because we are engaged as their agent, as their representative. So we stand in the gap as a landlord. So when there's an issue by a tenant of a landlord that's not here, as a property manager, that's our role to mitigate those things. And many times they are within a strata. And if there's an issue with the tenant versus the strata, we now step in as we are the owners and try to diffuse those situations and balance the strata's concerns, but letting the tenants know. Because a lot of times tenants are naive to some of the bylaws that exist for complexes and they naturally breach them, without thinking. But then it's our duty as property managers to inform them as to the roles that they need to do, because while occupying that property, they have to occupy it as though they were in fact the landlord. So they have to abide by all the rules, stay in the right parking space, observe the times. If there's no pets, there are just no pets. Yeah. So that's where we come in as property managers to broker that relationship so the landlords like yourself can be hands off. Right?
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Hands off a property.
Yeah. This is not monopoly. I tell you. Leyton, do you give equal respect from your office's perspective to both the landlord and the tenant?
Have to, but at times one party might feel that they don't get justice because things don't go in their favor.
Yes.
But we have to deal with both according to how the law allows us.
And, and based on the situation that presents itself to you.
The situation, right. So, and then, as I said before, if our inspectors can't settle the issue, then we recommend the court or, well, when I say court, I'm speaking at the rent board or the parish court.
Yes, I got you. Loud and clear. Thank you for that. Let's move on to now the tip of the day. What do you have as a tip for us?
Well, our tip today is to avoid tenancy disputes by knowing the law. Many problems arise because one party does not know that they have broken the lease agreement or they are unaware of their rights under the law, as Mr. Baker mentioned. Taking time to learn the law and to stay up to date on changes to these laws will help you avoid some of these common issues.
Excellent tip that was. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're still inside of real estate today. And I think at this point, Howie, you normally travel with a deal. And I think we call it
going but not yet gone. Yes, sir.
What do you have for us today? Let's listen.
All right, we're located in the community of Westgate Hills in Montego Bay. This 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom unit can be your home today. Away from the hustle and bustle, but still close to the heart and pulse of the city of Montego Bay. Near to schools, hospitals, churches, banks, supermarket, restaurants, cinemas, you name it. All needed amenities are within 5 to 10 minutes from this property. 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment in Westgate Hills. We're asking just $70,000 per month, and you may contact our agent in Montego Bay, Narda Sterling, at 419-6249. That's 876-419-6249 for Narda Sterling in Montego Bay.
Is there an email address?
Yes, she can be emailed at Narda, Narda, at hjrealtors.com.
All right. Good luck with that, Narda. That should not stay on your hands.
Maybe gone by the time I get back to the office.
And the number once again, if you want to reach Narda, is 876-419-6249. I'd like to thank you, Mr. Leyton Baker, speaking to us this morning as a professional in the industry. And thank you for the information that you shared this morning from the perspective of the Rent Assessment Board. You are the acting director. We commend you and your team on the work that you're doing. Thank you once again.
You're welcome. We're glad. All right.
All right. And we definitely want to thank you, Howard, for being here and sharing all of this wonderful information with our listeners. They find it very, very helpful. You know, one of the things we haven't spoken about, and maybe we should factor that in one of these mornings, is some of your achievements individually as a realtor, including that world recognition that you got a few years ago. One of these mornings, we want to let the puss out of the bag.
Yes, we'll work on that.
There are some achievements that he needs to tell you about. But thank you once again. Another interesting program. We're looking forward to next week as well.
Thank you, sir, and good afternoon. Good morning to everybody.
Yes, all right. Take care. Now, that was Real Estate Today, brought to you courtesy of Howard Johnson Realty Limited, located at unit number 15 in the Ligony Post Mall, located at 115 Hope Road in Kingston. You can call them on 876-620-1457, or you can send a WhatsApp message to 876-339-6282, and you can visit their website at hjrealtors.com.